Hi, we are going to continue with the representations and visualizations in Datawrapper. Apart from charts, we can also have maps. So with Datawrapper, we can have maps as we are seeing here, so we can have different regions, and in these regions we can modify either the color or making a representation of a figure related to the region and visualize some data, right? So we are going to see three options that we have in maps: a Choropleth map, symbol map, and locator map. The first one, Choropleth map, will be used when we have information about different regions and places of a country, of a city, right? And in this case, so for instance, we are coloring each region according to a variable. This is a very interesting thing of visualizing what is the importance of the geographic place in connection with others concerning that variable. It can help us to identify which zones in general are somehow related and to try to identify what is happening behind. We have to take into account that if we are dealing with individual data of the regions and we don't use the geographical representation to see which ones are closer, near, or neighbor from the others, we can miss this information, and probably we are not identifying or having conjectures about what is really happening. So for instance, we have a similar behavior with a pretty high growth in the regions in United Kingdom, but in the Baltic countries we can see that they are decreasing, and we can see that there's one region that is increasing. So it can make us thinking about what is happening, or if this is a region in which the big cities are concentrated or not. Okay. So here, as we have seen on the 4 steps that we have for working with Datawrapper, the first one is to select your map. The good news is you needn't to write or design the map. There are many information that you can either look within Datawrapper or upload your own map. Okay, in this case, you have to choose the boundaries that you are going to use, either if administrative, if somehow are the borders of the country or the region, or what is the divisions, right? We have more than 2,500 administrative boundaries that we can use in our maps. And apart from this, we can also request for other boundaries that probably they are not already incorporated in Datawrapper, and you can upload your map. And if not, you can request to Datawrapper that they upload and they integrate within the system for the subsequent use, either for others. Another option is cartograms, and in cartograms what we are trying to is to represent, we have here a representation of the world, but we are changing the size also according to another variable, right? And it's a different representation that it represents somehow different options. We are skipping of traditional geographical maps, and we have a more design when we have just squares for representing the different countries. These are cartograms. Another thing is symbol maps, and in symbol maps what we have the countries, but in each country what we can locate is a variable, and we can use either the size of the symbol that we are using, and also with the colors we can also include another variable that is represented here. So we are mixing geographical information, and we can also mix with colors and with the sizes 2 other sources of information within this symbol map. The symbols can be circles, as we have seen before, but we can have these small triangles that are representing here for the different districts that we have here in the States, what is the average daily COVID-19 cases per week per 100,000 inhabitants. Also here we have other representations where we are including this, also including a heat color bar in order to see what is the size of the magnitudes. And the third type of information, geographic information, that we can do is to locator mapping. We can choose one region and to mark in that region what is happening, right? So we can have here our representation, we can extract and we can include and see the regions of some streets, some roads, right? This could be uploading our own areas and lines as a geographic JSON file, and this later could be represented, and we can incorporate other sources of information for our representation. We can also make representations with the reliefs to shade them, for indicating some places that we can to integrate, and many options that you can deal with maps and make attractive maps for showing geographic information and to communicate with others what are your findings of data and understanding of the data. Thanks.